Hey guys, Danny with Doodlebug Sports, and I want to talk to you guys about the three-man tournament series that we have, the Survivor Series. Basically, the series has been designed to help introduce new players into tournament paintball. It's a three-man format, so it's easy to round up three guys. We have basically three different divisions. We offer a true beginner division that's designed for players that have never played in a tournament before. So if you played in a tournament 5 years ago or at any point, you wouldn't necessarily fit into our true beginner division. In fact, we highly discourage you from playing in it. If you have any tournament record on APPA, you'll be pushed up into the premier division. Now, the true beginner division, again, is designed specifically to help get new players, new tournament players into tournament paintball, give them kind of a fun way to play in the series. We keep the entry fee nice and low and reduce the prize package a little bit so that it helps discourage people that have played in tournaments a long time ago from playing that division. So if you're a new player, that's the division you're going to want to play in, new tournament guy. So the other division that we're going to have would be our premier division. Now, that division is more of a rookie novice division, so people that have played in tournaments previously. We've structured it a little bit differently than other series, so that allows us to kind of get some higher level players in while still making so that the teams are level. Still good competition, but still there's not any teams that are stacked. So the way that those points work is basically your roster has to have 13 points minimum. Now, the way that the points are derived is basically we use your APPA ranking, and that's how you're going to get your points. So, like, I'm at rank D2 on APPA, so I'd be worth 2 points. Okay, a D3 player would be 3 points, a D4 player would be 4 points, and a D5 player or beginner player would be worth 5 points. So what we do is we take the top 3 ranked players on your roster, and that's how you get your points. So if I was on a roster, I'm D2, I'd be worth 2 points. I'd have 2, say, D5 guys, that'd be 12 points. That's less than 13 points. Our roster would not qualify. They'd have to get me off the roster and bring a D3 player in. So a couple examples of those rosters, what they could be is you could have 2 D4 players, which would be worth 8 points, and a D5 player or a beginner player. That'll bring me up to 13 points, and that roster would qualify. Now, you can have more than 13 points. So if you had, 3 D5 players, you'd have 15 points, you would still qualify. All that matters is that you have at least 13 points on your roster to qualify for the premier division. Okay? Again, there's the true beginner division, and then there is the premier division. Okay? So if you've never played in a tournament, new players, you're going to play in the true beginner division. If you have played in tournaments, you're going to play in that premier division. Okay? The last division that we offer, depending on the turnout, is going to be our pump division. What we've done with that is we're actually going to run our true beginner division and our premier division in the morning. And once those conclude, then we'll start running the pump games. So typically our events, the prelims and finals, are usually over somewhere between like 11 and like 12, 12:30. Just depends on how many teams we get signed up. But the pump division will end up starting after the conclusion of the finals and everything for the true beginner and premier divisions. Okay. Now again, it is 3-man, so there's 3 guys in the field at a time. You can have up to 4 players on your roster, so you have another player you can rotate in for different games. The games are a maximum of 3 minutes long, so the game's going to end either when 3 minutes runs out, all players are eliminated, or when the flag is hung. So if your team gets the flag and hangs the flag, even if there's other players still alive, the game will end. Okay? These events are event paint only, so you have to buy paint in the morning when you check in. You can't use paint from other DBS events or other facilities. It's event paint only. So. And again, we do our best to make sure that we store our paint in temperature-controlled trailers. We make sure it's very well taken care of before it gets to you. Now, a couple other tips is if it's a hot day, keep your paint somewhere where it's cool. Okay? As the paintball gets hot, the shell expands a little bit, makes it a little softer. The ball's less likely to break on target. So if your paint's perfect in the morning and throughout the day you're finding you're getting more bounces, you're bouncing people more often, you're going to want to cool that paint down a little bit. Okay? And the opposite's true also. If you're finding that you're breaking a little bit of paint in the morning, which again we take very good care of it, so it's usually not a problem, then you want to warm that paint up a little bit. So just a little tip on the paint there. As far as firing mode goes, we allow any firing mode. It could be semi-auto, full auto, PSP mode, like any mode, we don't care. You pull the trigger, hold it down, it keeps firing. That's completely fine as long as when you let go, it stops shooting. The only thing that we care about is there's 2 things. Is the ball per second cap, how many balls come out of your barrel per second, is capped at 12.5 balls per second. So you can pull the trigger down, full auto, 12.5 balls a second is the most that can come out of your gun. Okay? The other thing that is restricted is the velocity. It's a maximum of 300 feet per second, okay? So that's an average of 3 shots is the way that we do that. So you get 3 shots, and if you shoot 301, 299, and 300, average out to 300, you're fine. Just can't be over 300. Now at our events, we do a couple other things to help keep things moving and to make sure that our staff is on top of ensuring a very high quality experience for you. Basically, what's going to happen is when your team has to go to the field, we actually have a chronograph and area that we prep the teams. So your team will get called to the field while the game prior to yours is going on. You'll enter into that chronograph area. Our judges will actually chronograph you there to make sure your guns are good. Make sure you don't have too many layers. It's a 2-layer maximum, so I could have basically a jersey and a shirt on, or a jersey with pads on under it. You can't have 4 jerseys or anything like that, okay? So, but they're going to check those things prior to you going on the field. Like, for us, we try to be proactive to make sure that we're monitoring players, not having to assess penalties later in the day because we find out, oh, your gun's shooting too hot, or oh, hey, your gun's shooting too fast. Like, we want to check that before you go on the field, just to make sure again that we're doing what we can to help you guys as players. We're there to serve you, make sure you have a great experience. So, if you have any other questions, feel free to email Danny at doodlebugsports with a z.com, so the same as the Doodlebug Sports web domain. And I can make more videos or respond to your questions. Happy to help, and would love to see you guys out there. So let me know.